Hello, my name is Gretchen Ayers, and I'm a candidate in the master's program at Kennesaw State University. Prior to KSU, I obtained my bachelor's degree of science in early childhood and elementary education. In addition, I completed my science endorsement in 2015 from KSU through the Math Science Partnership Program. Currently, I teach STEM Lab at Norton Park Elementary in Smyrna, Georgia. Now I would like to share with you my subject matter expertise. You can navigate this website by using the tabs at the top. I will start with Proficiency 1. I feel I possess broad, current, and specialized knowledge of subject matter and demonstrate this knowledge to colleagues, parents, and students through this evidence. This piece of evidence is called the Student Learning Analysis. It is a narrative about the impact my teaching had on students and the differences each student brought to the classroom. I was able to dig deep into the subject matter, the Georgia Standards of Excellence for Science. I was able to analyze the report and report the data to the classroom teacher and the parents during a professional development training to demonstrate my knowledge of the subject matter and the comprehension of the students. My next piece of evidence is the Impact and Recommendations paper. This allowed me to gain a deeper understanding of the No Child Left Behind Act, the Common Core, and the added value model. I also was able to make my own recommendations as a subject matter expert. This gave me a greater understanding of the importance of STEM education while there's such a big focus on math and reading. My last piece of evidence for Proficiency 1.1 is my lesson planning. I was able to demonstrate my subject matter expertise through creating grade level specific lessons that follow the Cobb County Pacing Guide and the Georgia Standards of Excellence. During my action research, I focused on 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students, so you can see those links here. The 3rd grade standard was focused around Georgia habitats, so we completed a challenge called Turtle Power, and you can see some of the student sample work here. 4th grade students were in the middle of studying the moon phases, so we completed a prototype model to show the different phases of the moon. Here are some students at work. The 5th grade students were studying electromagnets, so they created an electromagnetic crane to try to move different recyclable materials. I communicate this specialized knowledge through lesson plans on Microsoft Office with the administrators, and I communicate my lessons with the classroom teachers quarterly through the Pacing Guide. This is communicated to parents and teachers through the STEM Lab Weebly. The Weebly has information for teachers on the first page. It has STEM lessons by quarter and practice lessons and highlights from our STEM week. It has our club pages for different STEM-related clubs. It also has our meeting notes. Next, I will be sharing Proficiency 1.2. I am confident that I possess an interdisciplinary understanding of curriculum and its application to real life and accuracy represented through the use of multiple explanation technologies and/or strategies. During my leadership endorsement, I created this PowerPoint to show my philosophy on effective leadership. Through the use of this technology tool, I was able to effectively communicate. My next piece of evidence is called Moving the Needle. I have attached the narrative here, but I would like to share with you the story.com that I created. Moving the needle means moving in a favorable direction towards better pedagogy utilizing technology. This document highlights strategies I already use to promote technology and skills in elementary classroom and a reflection of how to move the needle to authentic transformation of technology. I created a realistic timeline and plan for growth using the story.com. My next piece of evidence is called the Tool Exploration Assignment. This was a collaborative project to research technology tools. My group found tools and we shared the collaboration tool and link. We shared the pros and cons of the link, the classroom applications that we could take directly back and use, the 4 C's, creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication that you can use with this tool, and if there were any age restrictions. Next is Proficiency 1.3, possessing strong pedagogical knowledge and using that knowledge to create approaches and instructional changes is what motivates my modifications and groupings of students. I chose to show 3 different tasks that we completed with data. This piece of evidence allowed me to drill down the data with the 6th grade mathematics from the CRCT scores for the past 3 years. After looking at the data, going visual with graphs, making observations, inferences, I was able to reflect and make decisions of what to do next based off of the data. Next, we had disaggregated data and strand domain data. These 3 tasks were all similar in the fact that we used the data to make decisions of what to do for the students. My second piece of evidence is the addition and subtraction interviews. One of my favorite things about this class was that we got to interview students, and I enjoyed this part. So this piece of evidence shows strong knowledge of approaching instructional challenges to motivate modifications for students based off of interview questions referring to addition and subtraction story problems. After we asked the story problem, we wrote a summary, and then we made instructional decisions based off of the conversation that we had with the student. My last piece of evidence in Proficiency 1.3 is the comparative analysis of teaching practices. This piece of evidence focuses on the challenges that need to take place in an elementary classroom for students to understand the mathematical idea rather than memorizing procedures. This assignment committed me to experimenting with student-centered, problem-based teaching practices to find instructional approaches in mathematics or modifications for students during discussing a story problem. The last Proficiency 1.4. This means the master's degree process has motivated me to actualize the integration of content, pedagogy, and interdisciplinary understanding through instruction that is integrated, flexible, elaborate, and deep. I chose 3 different pieces of evidence here. The first one is the leadership perception. This piece of evidence highlights characteristics of an effective leader. Through my research, I found an effective leader is someone who serves with their followers, has a positive demeanor, has a plan, is organized, and builds relationships. The second piece of evidence is an article analysis. The article we focused on was called Academic Performance of Students Without Disabilities in the Inclusive Environment. Researching this article opened my eyes to the idea of inclusive classes having a positive effect on all students in the classroom. I have included another article analysis titled, Where is the Content? Elementary Social Studies and Pre-Service Field Experience. The next piece of evidence I have is my equity project. This project was titled Promoting Diversity in STEM Among Gender and Race. This project involved a plan of breaking down gender bias and racial bias when teaching a 4th grade unit related to stars, Earth, Moon, and the solar system. Each lesson in the unit was integrated with a diverse STEM professional in the field of study, content, and pedagogy through the standards, essential questions, vocabulary, materials, instruction, assessment, and classroom teacher connections, as well as an elaborate and deep plan to include community members and parent volunteers for a guest speaker showcase at the end of the unit.